Think about this for a moment. Right now, very few men, less than 1 out of 100, are actually building a new future for themselves. Most are just repeating what they've always done. It's like they're stuck in old habits. Interestingly, this statement indeed aligns with some fascinating aspects of quantum physics. This reminds me of something scientists have noticed about tiny particles in space. They've found that most particles just follow the same old paths, but a few break away and do something new. It's funny how people and particles can be so alike sometimes, isn't it? Both seem to prefer sticking to what they know, with only a rare few venturing into new territory. Before we dive in, take a moment to set your intention. Let the universe know you're ready to welcome new success and abundance. Writing it down strengthens the message, so drop a comment below. I am ready to receive infinite abundance. Let me tell you about Robert, a fellow I encountered at a seminar I attended not too long ago. It's quite a story, and I think you'll find it interesting. Robert showed up that first morning looking like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. He'd been dealing with constant pain for over a decade, had 3 businesses go belly up, and doctors had told him he'd never jog again, let alone run. But you know what? There was something different about him that caught my eye right away. Most folks tend to give off an energy that matches their past experiences. It's like they're stuck listening to the same old tunes on repeat. But Robert? His energy seemed to be coming from somewhere else entirely, almost as if he was tuned into a future station. Even before we started any of the exercises, I and many others noticed something special about how his heart and mind were working together. This reminded me of Neville Goddard's timeless teaching. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and act as if it were already true. Without realizing it, Robert had stepped into this powerful principle, blending belief with the elevated energy of possibility. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. After just a few days, something extraordinary happened during one of our group meditations. The energy in the room shifted dramatically, and our instruments showed a big change. Right at the center of it all was Robert. It was as if he'd found a way to rewire his brain right then and there. You know, it reminds me of how rare ball lightning is in nature. Only a tiny fraction of lightning strikes create it. Similarly, very few people ever tap into their full potential for change. But those who do, they don't just change their own lives, they have an effect on everyone around them. When you look around these days, you'll notice most people, about 95% of them, are just going through the motions. They wake up, check their phone, feel the same old feelings, and think the same old thoughts. It's all on autopilot, but the rare individuals I'm talking about have figured out something important. Your brain isn't set in stone. Every morning, your mind churns out tens of thousands of thoughts. But here's the kicker. Most of those thoughts are repeats from yesterday and the day before, and so on. These exceptional folks understand that their thoughts and feelings have a real physical impact on their bodies. When you think and feel the same way day in and day out, your body gets used to it, even addicted to it in a way. But here's where it gets really fascinating. Your brain is processing an enormous amount of information every second, but you're only aware of a tiny fraction of it. Most people let their surroundings, their phones, emails, bank accounts, relationships, control what they focus on. These rare individuals do something different. They've realized that the brain's ability to rewire itself isn't just some scientific theory. It's a powerful tool that anyone can use. It's quite remarkable when you think about it, isn't it? How a change in perspective can lead to such profound transformations. Robert's story is a testament to the untapped potential we all carry within us. If you're still with us and enjoying the content, take a moment to subscribe. It's free and helps us keep bringing you insights and inspiration you'll love. Let me share with you something fascinating about a special group of men I've observed. It's quite remarkable, really, and I think you'll find it intriguing. These fellows have a unique morning routine. Before they dive into their day, they take a moment to themselves. They close their eyes and practice something rather unusual. They try to become nobody, going nowhere, doing nothing, and wanting nothing. It sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? But there's a method to this madness. You see, instead of letting the world around them dictate their thoughts and feelings, they do the opposite. They program their minds to shape their world. It's like they're writing their own script for the day ahead. Rather than getting caught up in stress and worry, they focus on creativity and possibility. The more they practice this, the more aware and present they become in their everyday lives. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Most folks, when they try to make changes in their lives, they often make the mistake of thinking positive thoughts while still feeling negative emotions. But these men understand something crucial. Thoughts are the brain's language, and feelings are the body's language. They work on getting both to sing from the same hymn sheet, so to speak. They don't just think about their future, they feel it. They combine a clear intention with a positive emotion, and that's when the magic happens. It's like they're shifting from being passengers in their own lives to becoming the drivers. The first thing that sets these extraordinary men apart is their ability to consciously create their reality. Let me explain this in a way that might surprise you. Let me tell you about a group of remarkable men I've come across at various workshops I've attended. It's quite an eye-opening story, and I think you'll find it intriguing. These fellows have a unique approach to life, unlike most of us who tend to wake up and go through the same old routines. And these men start their day with a clear purpose, to shape their future, not just relive their past. They believe that their thoughts, feelings, and actions aren't just reactions to what's happening around them, but powerful tools that can actually change their lives. Dr. Joe Dispenza says something quite interesting. He claims that the world around us responds not to what we want, but to who we are being. These men take this idea to heart. Every morning, they spend some time in quiet reflection. But it's not just about relaxing. They're actively imagining the future they want to create. Let me tell you about Noah, a guy I met at one of these workshops. Poor Noah had been struggling with money problems and self-doubt for years. When he first arrived, you could practically see the weight on his shoulders. But as he started practicing these new ideas, something changed. Noah began to focus on a vision of a better life. He didn't just think about it, he really felt it, as if it were already happening. He imagined how it would feel to be free from money worries, to feel joy and relief. And you know what? By the third day, Noah told us he'd had an unexpected financial breakthrough. Now, this wasn't just luck. These men believe that to change the world around them, they need to change their inner world first. They work on aligning their thoughts and feelings, creating a kind of harmony between their mind and heart. Neville Goddard, who used to say, "Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled." These men take this advice seriously. They don't just think about what they want. They try to feel as if they already have it. When they sit quietly and reflect, they're not asking for change or hoping for better times. Instead, they imagine themselves as the person who has already achieved what they want. They practice feeling grateful, joyful, and loving instead of stressed or worried. But it doesn't stop there. Throughout the day, they keep an eye on their thoughts and feelings. They know that every moment is a chance to stay connected to their vision of the future. When doubts creep in, they consciously redirect their thoughts to more positive ones. Even when things get tough, these men stay calm. They've learned to see problems as opportunities to grow stronger. Instead of getting stressed out, they respond with purpose. It's quite remarkable when you think about it, isn't it? How a change in perspective can lead to such profound changes in life. It's never too late to try new ways of thinking, you know. Even at our age, we can still learn and grow. Who knows what we might be able to create in our own lives? Consider John, another fellow I met at one of these advanced workshops. It's quite a remarkable story, and I think you'll find it interesting. John had been dealing with constant pain for years. He felt like his body had let him down, and he was stuck in a rut. On the first day of the workshop, he told us he felt trapped by his situation. But as he started practicing these new ideas, focusing his thoughts and feelings on being healthy and full of life, something extraordinary happened. By the end of the workshop, John said his pain had decreased significantly. It wasn't just in his head. His body was actually feeling better. It's as if his body was responding to the new messages his brain was sending. You see, both the spiritual teacher Neville and the scientist Dr. Joe talk about how our bodies can't tell the difference between what's really happening and what we vividly imagine. So by picturing the future they want, these men are actually training their bodies to believe it's already happening. They're not waiting for things to change. They're making the change happen themselves. Their evenings are just as purposeful as their mornings. Before bed, they think back on their day, focusing on the times when they felt in line with their vision. They celebrate even small wins, which helps strengthen the connections in their brain associated with their future self. Neville Goddard called this revising the day, and it helps their subconscious mind keep working on their goals even while they sleep. Science backs this up, you know. Dr. Joe's research shows that when people focus on positive emotions, like gratitude and joy before bed, their brains enter a state that makes it easier to form new connections. These men use this to program their subconscious with the reality they want to create. What really sets these men apart is how consistent they are. They don't just do this occasionally or when it's convenient. They've made it a way of life. Every thought, every feeling, and every action is in line with the future they want. They understand that greatness doesn't happen by accident, it's something you practice. As they keep doing this, the changes they see don't just benefit themselves. The positive energy they create seems to spread, affecting the people and places around them. Studies have shown that when individuals reach a high level of this positive state, it can actually be measured and can impact others nearby. So, these men aren't just changing their own lives, they're helping change the lives of others too. Through all their hard work, they've come to understand something profound. Reality isn't set in stone. It's shaped moment by our thoughts and energy. These men know that their power doesn't come from controlling what's happening around them, but from mastering what's happening inside them. It's quite something when you think about it, isn't it? How a change in perspective can lead to such profound changes in life. It's never too late to try new ways of thinking, you know. Even at our age, we can still learn and grow. Who knows what we might be able to create in our own lives? These fellows have a special knack for living as if their desired future is already here, no matter what's going on around them. It's not something they do once in a while. It's how they live every day. Each morning, they start by letting go of who they think they are right now. They set aside all the old thoughts and feelings that have defined them in the past. It's like they're wiping the slate clean every day. Now, this isn't about ignoring reality, it's about creating it. They take some quiet time away from all the hustle and bustle to tune into the energy of who they want to become. They're not just daydreaming, they're actually practicing feeling the emotions of success or happiness before these things have actually happened. It's like they're rehearsing for their future. As they go about their day, they keep a close eye on their thoughts and feelings. They know that what's going on inside their head affects what happens in their life. When something pops up that would usually make them frustrated or worried, they don't just react. They take a moment, take a deep breath, and choose to stick with their vision of the future. This level of awareness didn't come naturally to them. It's something they've practiced, like learning to play an instrument. They've trained themselves to notice their thoughts without getting caught up in them. When they catch an old habit or belief trying to sneak back in, they gently guide their mind back to where they want it to be. One of the most impressive things about these men is how they stay focused on the present moment. While many of us spend our days worrying about the past or fretting about the future, these men have learned to stay in the here and now. They know that the present moment is where all the power is. It's the only place where change can happen. This focus on the present isn't just something they do when they're sitting quietly. They bring it into everything they do, whether they're at work, spending time with family, or just taking a walk. They're fully engaged in whatever they're doing, aware of what's going on around them, and mindful of the energy they're putting out into the world. They understand that their body has gotten used to their old ways of thinking and feeling, and they've made it their mission to change that. It's like they're rewiring their brain and teaching their body to respond to new thoughts and feelings. Now, for most people, this would feel pretty uncomfortable at first. Our bodies like what's familiar, even if it's not good for us. But these men embrace the discomfort. They see it as a sign that they're growing and changing. Over time, all this effort starts to pay off. The more they practice aligning with their future, the easier it gets. Their brain starts to form new pathways, and their body begins to respond to new emotional signals. It's not always a smooth journey, but each day brings new chances to get better at it. One of the secrets to their success is that they don't get too hung up on the end result. While they're focused on their vision, they don't cling to it desperately. Instead, they approach their goals with trust and curiosity, letting things unfold in their own time. You know how most of us wait for good things to happen to feel happy or loved? Well, these fellows have learned to create those good feelings all on their own. They don't rely on what's going on around them to feel good. Instead, they've figured out how to stir up positive emotions whenever they want. It's like they've got an internal happiness switch they can flip at will. By focusing on feelings like gratitude, joy, and kindness, they not only make themselves feel better, but they also seem to have a positive effect on the people around them. It's as if their good mood is contagious. This ability to manage their emotions is a big part of how they've changed their lives. At the end of the day, these men take some time to think about how things went. They focus on the moments when they felt like the person they want to become. They celebrate their successes, no matter how small. It's like they're collecting evidence that they're on the right track. If they slip up and fall into old habits, they don't beat themselves up about it. Instead, they get curious. They ask themselves what caused the slip up and how they might handle it better next time. This kind of self-reflection helps them keep improving. Before bed, they spend some time imagining their ideal future. They picture it in vivid detail, what they see, hear, and feel in this future life. This practice not only reinforces their vision, but also gives their subconscious mind something to work on while they sleep. Their bedtime routine is just as purposeful as their morning one. By ending the day with gratitude and hope, they make sure their mind and body are in a good state as they rest. This sets them up to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle another day. It comes from a deep belief that they can create change in their lives. They trust in their vision and their process, knowing that every step they take is moving them closer to their goals. Through their dedication to improving themselves, these rare men have transformed their lives. They've shown that true power comes from mastering what's going on inside, not from trying to control the outside world. Their journey reminds us that greatness isn't just for a chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to put in the effort. For these men, the journey never really ends. Each day brings new chances to refine their practice and deepen their alignment with their goals. They understand that transformation is a lifelong process, one that requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. By living with intention, staying present, and having a clear purpose, they've not only created extraordinary lives for themselves, but have also become an inspiration to others. Their story shows us the incredible potential we all have and reminds us that we all have the power to create the life we want. It's quite something when you think about it, isn't it? How a change in perspective and some daily practices can lead to such profound changes in life. It's never too late to try new ways of thinking, Even at our age, we can still learn and grow. Who knows what we might be able to create in our own lives? These fellows have come to understand that there's a strong connection between what's going on inside their heads and what's happening in their lives. They don't see life as just a bunch of random events. Instead, they believe that their thoughts, beliefs, and feelings play a big part in shaping their experiences. Now, you might think that taking responsibility for everything in your life would be a heavy burden, but for these men, it's actually quite freeing. It gives them a sense of control. Instead of feeling like life is happening to them, they feel like they're actively creating their life. This change in how they see things has made a world of difference for them. One of the main things they do is spend time each day imagining their ideal future. They use their imagination as a tool to bridge the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. There was this spiritual teacher, Neville Goddard, who used to say that imagination is our most powerful tool for change. These men have really taken that idea to heart. When they imagine their future, they don't just think about it vaguely. They really get into the details. They imagine what it would feel like to achieve their goals, what sounds they might hear, what they might see. It's like they're rehearsing for a play, but the play is their future life. By doing this, they're training their mind and body to believe that this future is already happening. These fellows have learned to keep their spirits high by focusing on feelings like gratitude, joy, and love. They believe that by doing this, they're able to tap into something bigger than themselves. Some call it the universe. Others might call it God or fate. Whatever you want to call it, they believe it helps them bring their dreams to life more easily. It's like their good energy becomes a magnet for good things. Now, you might think that when things go wrong, these men would get upset or lose their cool, but that's not the case at all. They've developed a kind of inner strength that helps them stay calm and focused on their goals, no matter what's happening around them. This isn't something they were born with. It's something they've practiced and gotten better at over time. One of the most impressive things about these men is how they don't get all worked up about when or how their dreams will come true. They're focused on what they want, sure, but they don't obsess over it. Instead, they trust that things will work out in their own time. This helps them avoid a lot of the stress and worry that often comes with wanting something really badly. At the end of each day, They take some time to think about how things went. They celebrate the good stuff and try to learn from the not-so-good stuff. They're not hard on themselves. They understand that growing and changing is a process that takes time. Before they go to sleep, they spend a few moments picturing their ideal future. They believe that what you think about just before you fall asleep can have a big impact on how you feel when you wake up. Now, it's not all smooth sailing for these men. They face challenges just like the rest of us, but they see these challenges as chances to get stronger and better at what they do. When they start feeling scared or doubtful, they use it as a reminder to reconnect with their vision and believe in themselves. As they keep practicing this way of living, something interesting starts to happen. The people around them start to change too. It's like their positive energy rubs off on others. They're not trying to change anyone. It just happens naturally because of how they're living their lives. Over time, these men find a deep sense of satisfaction that goes beyond just achieving their goals. They feel good because they know they're living life on their own terms, not letting their past or their circumstances hold them back. Their journey shows us that we all have the power to create the life we want. It's not about changing the world around us. It's about changing how we think and feel on the inside. It's quite something when you think about it, isn't it? How a change in perspective and some daily practices can lead to such profound changes in life. It's never too late to try new ways of thinking, you know. Even at our age, we can still learn and grow. Who knows what we might be able to create in our own lives if we gave some of these ideas a try. These rare men exemplify what's possible when intention meets consistent action. They remind us that transformation is not a stroke of luck, but the result of deliberate choices made every day. By mastering their thoughts, aligning their emotions, and embodying their vision, they've broken free from the confines of their past to create lives filled with purpose, fulfillment, and infinite possibility. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.